Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader Guide, Idira Tlass from level 1 to level 36, Operative, Bounty Hunter, Psyker. This is the full build for Prologue, Act 1 and Act 2 for both archetypes. The build was tested on unfair difficulty, and if it works on unfair, it will work on all other difficulties as well. Let's go.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader? Because I am. The Emperor protects.
So, our dear Idira is a heretic, psyker, operative. That's her biography, that's her build, that's her lore, and we're sticking with her lore from start to finish. Let's build her up and prepare her for Prologue and Act 1. The very first spell that she's gonna receive, or better to say the ability as an operative, Psyker operative, would be Analyze Enemies. Analyze Enemies goes in combo with Expose Weakness. You whack Analyze on an enemy single target, then you whack Expose Weakness, and you reduce, or better to say, you debuff enemies so you can hurt them more with your entire team. On the next level, we're gonna learn Logic on Idira. Then she receives, again, these two always go together, okay, Expose Weakness and Analyze Enemies, or better say Analyze into Expose, and on the next level she's gonna receive her ulti, Dismantling Attack, a boss killer ulti, okay, and this is the only way how you should use this ulti on Idira. But basically other companions have better ultis. For the very first talent, we're gonna pick Advice and Guidance. Whenever you decide to buff up Heinrichs, Abelard or Argenta, they're gonna hurt more. That's the talent when you use Psyker abilities to buff up allies with Idira. On the next level, we're gonna learn Perception. We need huge Perception on Idira because we want Idira to become a Bounty Hunter. After Perception, we're gonna learn a talent called Nimble, because we want Dodge on Idira so she can dodge enemies' attacks. Dodge is the most important defensive stat on Idira, after all. On the next level, we're gonna learn Fatebringer talent. Every ally that you buff with Idira will now receive armor percentage, or better to say, they're gonna become tankier. For the characteristic, we're gonna learn Intelligence. On the next level, we receive an ability choice, and we're gonna pick Sensory Deprivation. What it does? Basically, it's a debuff. You debuff enemies so they can't hit as often. Very useful debuff. So, as Cassia, for example, is a buffer, Idira is the complete opposite. She's a debuffer. Okay, so Cassia, good to enhance the team. Idira, good to demolish enemies. For the skill on this level, we're gonna learn Logic. On the next level, we're gonna learn the talent called Predicted Downfall. Predicted Downfall is yet another debuff talent where enemies are getting penalties to dodge even further. For this level as well, on a talent 2, we're gonna learn Psy rating. The higher the Psy rating is, the better the spells of a Psyker are, or better to say, the more powerful your spells are, and Idira is a heretic Psyker. For the next level, we're gonna receive ulti upgrade, and we're gonna pick upgrade number 3 for Dismantling Attack. And of course, cause Idira is a debuffer, we're gonna pick additional debuffs on ulti as well now, okay? Additional armor and dodge removal on enemies. For the skill check, we're gonna pick Awareness on this level. On the next level, again, we're gonna pick Awareness, and for the characteristic, we're gonna pick Intelligence. For the next level, we're gonna pick a talent called Visions of Doom. Yet again, it's a debuff that again reduces enemies' dodge and parry. Okay, Idira is all about reducing enemy armor, enemy dodge, and operative into a Psyker debuffer does that very well. You can easily, and when I say easily, I mean it. If enemy has like 100% armor and 90 dodge, you can go to potatoes. Okay, 2 potatoes. They're gonna have 0/0 once you use all of the abilities and debuff them with Idira. Okay, so all allies will hurt that enemy even more. Or better, they're gonna one-shot him. That's what Idira does, debuffing. After the Visions of Doom, we're gonna take Lord Xenos for the skill checks. On the next level, we're gonna pick Prescience on Idira. Prescience would be the first buff for Idira as an operative psychic. What Prescience does is once you buff an ally with some ability, they're gonna receive additional points in intelligence, perception, fellowship, and willpower. Very good when you wanna buff Pascal and when you wanna buff Cassia. They're gonna become very, very powerful with that. Also, it's valid to buff up Heinrichs with this one. And at this level, we're gonna take, of course, Talent 2, Psy Rating 2. We're maxing out her Psyker power. And whenever you have a chance to upgrade Psy Rating, it's a must. There is no other way, it's a must. For the next level, we're gonna pick Mind Siege as a talent. Whenever you cast anything on enemies that's gonna debuff them or do something to them, it doesn't matter what type of Psyker spell it is, now they're gonna receive additional mental damage from this talent, or better to say from Idira. Very useful. And on this level, we're gonna take Perception, because we're preparing Idira to become a bounty hunter Psyker operative. On the next level, we're gonna take Willpower on Idira, because Psykers profit out of willpower. And, of course, we're gonna take It Will Not Die to raise maximum wounds, or better to say, maximum health for Idira. And for the last level, it would be Ulti upgrade, or better to say Dismantling Attack upgrade, where we're gonna pick upgrade number 4. What it does, when you surround an enemy that had a Dismantling Attack from Idira, and whenever he tries to do something, all of those melees that surrounded that enemy will whack him once, okay? It's gonna provoke attacks of opportunity no matter what the enemy does. It's a boss killer Dismantling Attack. You reduce armor, you reduce dodge, and then everyone whacks enemy. So Idira is a damage dealing debuffer, operative, support, Psyker. Alright, Hereticus. She's very good on a Hereticus run as well, if you decide to play as a Hereticus, of course. What is the gear that we wanna use on Idira Tlass? Everything that's gonna give her willpower, perception, intelligence, enhance her debuffs is good. Everything that's gonna reduce dodge on enemies, armor on enemies is valid on Idira Tlass. Everything that's gonna raise dodge on Idira is also a good item to equip. Any item that's somehow connected to the Psy rating and that's gonna enhance Psy rating is extremely valid on Idira as well. As far as the staffs go, Psyker staffs, this is something that you want. Huge willpower, huge perception, divination, unsanctioned Psyker staffs. There's gonna be a lot of them in a game, and those are the ones you wanna use once, and if you decide that you have like an action point or 2 above to spend, you can always equip a sniper and whack enemy from afar. But that's optional, you are there to cast spells. That's why you're there, to debuff enemies, analyze, expose weakness, and so on. Now, let's speak about those abilities and how you should play Idira in combat. So, we are preparing Idira to become a bounty hunter Psyker, but from level 1 to level 16, this is what you'll get. Okay. The last 3 are from top 16 and above, so we are looking at these 4 and we're looking at this. Okay, the main damage dealing spell that Idira receives for free would be a Psychic Shriek. Classic, 1 target, 2 action points, deal willpower bonus, multiply with Psy rating damage dealing spell from afar. That's gonna raise Veil as well, so you need to be careful when you're gonna use it, you don't wanna spam with this. How do we play Idira? The combat starts, you analyze an enemy that you wanna kill in round 1, you expose enemy's weakness, okay? And then you're gonna put blind on some other enemy, you're gonna buff an ally, perhaps, and you end the turn. If you decide to deal damage, there is the second option, you go into analyze, into expose weakness, into Psychic Shriek. Okay, if you think that enemies will hurt you, okay, then it's good to go with a forewarning and give allies additional dodge. And that's everything that you need to know about it. And now your choice is how you want to mix up those spells. Once you encounter a boss, you can always go with a Dismantling Attack and reduce armor, dodge, on the boss, plus with all of those ulti upgrades, there's gonna be additional benefits on it, and that's about it. So what is the best way and how you should always start is analyze into expose weakness, okay, this too, and then it's everything else. You decide how you want to do it. Offensive, defensive, debuffing, dealing damage, or buffing allies. Idira is best at debuffing enemies, and that's a fact. And now, once we're done with the operative, we're gonna make Idira a crowd-controlling bounty hunter, and the main keystone feature would be hunt down the prey, where you get to target 3 preys and receive extra benefits out of targets that become a prey. On the next level, we're gonna learn Psychic Assault on Idira. Psychic Assault is a cone area attack that can deal low amount of damage, but it can stun enemies in return. On the next level, we're gonna get Unnatural Luck talent on Idira. Unnatural Luck converts regular crits on your teammates into a normal hits. In other words, they can't get one-shotted. On the next level, Idira gains her ulti, Wild Hunt, that's completely useless on a Psyker, but as part of the archetype, she will still receive an ulti. On the next level is the main power spike, where Idira gets additional action point, and on the same level we're gonna go for willpower. All we care on Idira as a Psyker would be willpower as the main stat. For the next level we're gonna learn Second Sight talent. With Second Sight we're gonna increase the range of Idira's spells as a Psyker. And we're gonna learn Perception from characteristics. Now, on the ability choice for the next level, we're gonna take Foreboding. I already said Idira is full with buffs, debuffs, and damage dealing spells. Foreboding is basically an area of effect dodge for all companions in your team. On the next level, we're gonna learn Mind Thief talent. Mind Thief is what it says it is. You debuff enemy and buff yourself no matter what type of damage Psyker ability you cast on enemies. And on the same level we're gonna learn Awareness on Idira. On the next level we're opting in for Willpower, and for the talents number 2 we're gonna learn Swift Movements and give her some additional movement points. For the next level we're gonna learn Pounce talent. Every enemy that you mark as prey now with Idira, all of your companions will have additional crit chance against them. On the next level we're gonna learn Awareness, and on the same level we're opting in for Willpower. For the next level, Idira gets her ulti upgrade, Wild Hunt, and we're gonna pick upgrade number 1 for additional debuffs. In this case, Idira will reduce armor of enemies. And on that level we're gonna learn Thriving in Chaos talent. Whenever you trigger Perils of the Warp, and Idira will trigger it as a Psyker, okay, because all of her abilities are very costly, so when you trigger Perils of the Warp, the faster you'll gain your ulti. On the next level we're gonna take Trembling Flock talent. Additional debuff on prey enemies. Again, prey is the main keystone feature of the class. You put 3 prey targets at the start of every combat and you apply all of those talent effects. What Trembling Flock does, in a huge area around the enemy that you made as prey, all around will get reduced agility. When you reduce agility on enemies, you also reduce their dodge, so they're easier to hit. For the next level, we're opting in for Logic and Intelligence. And on the next level, we're gonna learn Power Conduit talent. Once you trigger Psychic Phenomena or Perils of the Warp, the next ability that you cast as a Psyker will cost -1 action point less. Cheaper spells means you can cast more during the round, useful on Idira. And for the ability and the last ability option, in the second archetype, we're gonna pick Mind Bond. Idira will share her Perception, Intelligence, Willpower, and Fellowship with the character she is connected with Mind Bond. Basically, how does this work? If you wanna respect someone, for example a Psyker, okay, and the Psyker, any Psyker, is now using Willpower to deal damage. You ramp up Willpower on Idira to 100 plus, and you connect with that ally with Mind Bond. But you don't invest willpower into the other Psyker, you invest 100 points into toughness. So your Psyker, main Psyker, will now have 200 HP plus, with basically 0 willpower, which deals 0 damage with spells. Okay, but once Idira connects with Mind Bond, that Psyker becomes as powerful as Idira, but with 200 HP. That's how Mind Bond works. On the next level, we're opting in for Psy rating 3. The higher the Psy rating on a Psyker, the more potent the spells are, no matter if it's buffs, debuffs, or damage dealing Psyker spells. So always when you have an option, you wanna opt in for Psy rating. On the next level, we're gonna learn agility and give Idira extra dodge, and on the same level, we're going in for logic. On the next level, we're gonna go with celebrate the kill talent. Again, this is a prey-oriented talent. When a companion kills a prey, Idira gets bonus action points and movement points, hence she can play more and she can be more devastating in combat. For the last talent, and on this level, we're gonna take Grenadier for a free grenade, and at the end we're gonna learn the ulti on the last level in the archetype, ulti upgrade number 2, which will give Idira some extra movement points and will restore all charges of prey. Now, what is the gear that we should use on Idira? The most important thing would be the staffs, okay? And in case of Idira, we would need a breadbone staff. Okay, this is the staff that you're gonna basically use from prologue act 1 and act 2, when you find the staff, of course. In the other hand, you can always use a sniper, but truth to be told, you will rarely use a sniper. You're gonna use spells as a Psyker. You wanna place Idira in light armor, give her extra dodge, cause dodge is the most important defensive stat for Idira. As far as characteristics go, the most important, if you can find it on items, it's willpower and perception, and then it's everything else. Agility is also quite important, cause she's gonna get extra dodge from agility. Now, as far as skill checks go, Idira is great into awareness and logic. So you want items that give that. As far as boots, capes, and so on, everything that is connected somehow to psi powers, to psychic abilities, those are the items that you want to equip on Idira. For example, a warp conductor gloves, psi rating, everything that has to do with this purple circle over here, that's the thing you want on Idira for items. One of the best amulets that you can find early in the game and that you can equip on Idira would be a Hereticus amulet, Gem of the Dark Vitality, for example. Now, how do we play Idira? I already explained how you use early spells and so on, but now we got Psychic Assault, Foreboding, we got Mind Bond, we got Prey. Once the combat starts, you're gonna mark 3 preys, and you're gonna abuse all of those passive talents on the preys, okay? No matter if you kill the prey or allies kill the prey, you're gonna receive extra benefits. So that's bread and butter, and what you should do. Once you target everyone with prey, you're gonna go into analyze enemies, into expose weakness, reduce their armor and dodge and whatnot, and then you can pick whether you wanna buff AoE buff allies, okay, give them extra dodge and so on. You want single target buffs, you want single target damage, or you want AoE damage. That depends out of situation and out of combat, of course. Should you use ulti on Idira, dismantling attack? No. Use ultis from other characters, don't use it with Idira, because others do way much more. Idira is a Psyker, and you need to cast spells, buff, debuff, and deal damage with spells. Do not waste your ulti on Idira. Waste ulti on someone else, like Argenta, like Heinrichs. Or even better, waste Wild Hunt when you have Irliet in your team, but not on Idira. What is the best combo after you do Prey, expose weakness on enemies, analyze, and so on for the spells? The best combo would be single target buffs and then AoE buffs. And then you wait. Okay, you casted all buffs, all debuffs, and now you wait for round 2 to start with your damage dealing abilities, and you will also have like 2 action points to buff up other companions. But in the first round, you should buff up as much as you can, okay, instead of opting in for dealing damage. That would be it for Idira Tlass. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader? Because I am. The Emperor protects.